Boom, what's going on? What's going on, people? We're back again on the World Cup show. First show of the tournament, opening game of Qatar 2022. And with obviously myself, we've got G, Romz in the building as well. And guys, just to announce as well, the infamous Saint LFC TV will be joining us for the tournament as well. So listen, it might not be, as we already said, we're going to be streaming every day. So it might not be all of us at one time, but it might be Saint, G, and Romz next time. Do you know what I mean? It might be myself, Saint, and G as opposed to Romz. So listen, big up to everyone in the building. As we always say, please make sure you're smashing the like, make sure you're commenting, make sure you're hitting the share button as well. We're en route to 1K, and I think we can get to the 1K by the end of the year. I actually fully believe it. So big up to everyone that's been in the building, supporting the channel. We've got Ravi in the building already. Big up Ravi saying, as you enter, slash a like and subscribe to your boy Jerry and the gang. Respect, big up to yourself. We've got Captain Sal in the building saying, Jerry, big up. Springer settings. We've got Fritz, big up Fritz saying, was that an offside? By the laws of the game, yes.
I was going to say, yeah, by the laws of the game.
By the laws of the game, yes. But we'll get into it. We've got JB in the building as well saying, big up you, man. Big up. But yeah, man, look, before we obviously get into the whole situation of obviously the game and stuff, I just wanted to talk about the World Cup itself. Now, obviously, there's a lot of controversy surrounding it. I don't know if you guys watched the pre-match, but there was a lot of agendas being spewed. There was agendas being spewed left, right, and centre. It was, instead of just focusing, like I said, on the World Cup and stuff, it got to they were talking about this, how Qatar got the World Cup, and speaking on the controversies. What are your thoughts, before we get into obviously the nooks and crannies of the game, what are you guys' thoughts in regards to the controversy surrounding it? I know it's a tricky topic, so let's just try beat around the bush as much as possible, but whilst giving an answer that's a representative of yourself. So yeah, with you guys, man.
Bro, it's just double standards, because when France didn't want to let Muslims wear hijabs and the way we do things in the west side of the world, it's all fine. But the minute it's in the Middle East, it's being scrutinized, it's being spoken about. Like, every country has their laws. We all speak about in the group chat, Jerry. Every country has their laws that you have to abide to, and if you don't want to, you don't go to that country. Like, I'm not condoning certain things that go on in the Middle East, but it's that we're making such a big uproar of it. But if anything, we're worse as well. There's double standards. The Americans have done stuff that are bad. The English have done stuff that are bad. I just want to focus on the football, bro. I honestly want to focus on the football. But I saw that with Shearer, Alex Scott, and
Lineker, yeah, and then Williams, sorry.
And it was just, bro, they didn't even show the opening ceremony, bro. They showed like the last 2 minutes, bro.
I know, and that's what I was saying, and it was just like, for me, that already just left a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Obviously, we know they spent a lot of money on this World Cup. They have the money and the resources to do that. Regardless, that stadium looks ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It looks ridiculous. Yeah. It looks like a tent, and I don't know if you guys have seen the other stadiums, but they've actually got a stadium called, I think it's 974 or 947, and it's made out of 947 shipping containers.
Swear down.
They're being so innovative, but obviously it still includes the whole modern kind of aspect of it. Okay. But it's made out of shipping containers, and you can actually see the shipping containers around the stadium. It's crazy when you look at it. It's crazy, and I've got to say that pitch, that was probably the cleanest pitch I've seen in a while.
Bro, I thought it was 4G.
It was a carpet.
Jerry,
I'm not even surprised though. I'm surprised though.
Bro, but G, it was so immaculate. I said to my boy, wait, is that 4G? I remember one of them did a slide tackle near the byline. I was like, that's not, bro, that's artificial. That's not grass, bro. He's like, no, that's grass.
Be careful, my brother. I'll say, don't just slide too tough, like, and that 1-2 graze on your thing. Nah,
so
but
I saw just when I think it was Plata running with the ball, yeah, and the ball didn't have one bit of bobble.
One bit of
bobble. It would just slide. Listen, I've got to give it to them. They've obviously the infrastructure to obviously host the games is there. So
no, I would expect that, and even bro, like we can us three here, we can sit here talk for the next 3 hours about the whole everything that's been said. Let's put it to you that way. Everything that's been said, obviously about Qatar and etc. I'll be real, bro, I couldn't even care less. Whatever's gone on in Qatar, that's gone on in Qatar. The reality is, if you cared that much, you wouldn't go there. And if you do care, then do something about it. If you don't want to do anything about it, stop talking about it. Like you're not doing anything. Alex Scott, your Gary Lineker's, like you're not highlighting anything. You get? There's no point talking about something that you're not going to do anything about. Like you're literally not going to help out, in the situation. So the reality is, highlighting it so much, but you're over there being paid to actually speak about it. It's a bit of an irony in that one. Do you know what I mean? So when I'm hearing, presenters and fans as well, there's a lot of fans talking about, going to Qatar and stuff. I'm like, then don't go. I'll stop your ticket in a heartbeat. I couldn't care less about you not being able to drink or like that's one of the most pathetic things I think I've ever heard from this culture. The fact that they're actually angry at the sheer fact that apparently obviously the whole Budweiser and everything has been taken away a couple of days. I'm happy that it has, to be honest with you. Should have done it from before. The fact that they've done it so close to the tournament doesn't really mean anything. This isn't, you're worrying about like the wrong things. Do you know what I mean? Like this isn't something that we should be so concerned, with. So at the end of the day, if you're not going to do anything about it, if you can't do anything about it, just leave it. Because Gary Lineker's not going to go over there to all the families of all the the people and stuff like that, without getting too into it, and do something to help. He's going to keep getting paid, jump on BBC, continue to do the coverage. We're going to see him tomorrow. We're going to see go back to England, Leicester, wherever the hell he lives, and life will continue. So the reality is, if you're not willing to help in any way, to be honest with you, stop talking about it. If this was a problem, all the teams, every player or every manager or every fan should have boycotted this the day that they got given the as host of the World Cup. If it was that big of a deal, like if, for example, if one of the England players said, "Nah, man, I'm not really feeling the World Cup," don't go. Who cares about you? Like, as in, you don't care about playing for your country at the World Cup.
You're right. We've got a lot of like kind of examples in history within sports where people have taken a stand and said, you know what, I ain't doing this. You got Colin Kaepernick as a recent example where he sacrificed the bag, sacrificed his career that he's never going to be able to go to stand up for something that he believes is bigger than what it is. So
correct me if I'm wrong, JJ, as well. I know you're very knowledgeable when it comes to NBA. I don't know NBA that. Didn't Kyrie Irving, because of he didn't want the vaccination?
Yeah. I mean, that's a belief, whether you agree with it or not. But that's what he did. He didn't really get vaccinated.
These men actually ride what they're on about.
He couldn't play home games, I believe it was.
Yeah,
I remember you telling me. Yeah,
he couldn't play home games, so he only played 20 games, and like an 80-game season, he played 20 games.
Which is mad. Think about that.
That's
like
crazy.
60 odd. It's like
this is what I mean. These men actually believe what they're saying. Like, they believe in what they're standing for.
And the thing is, I've got no problem either side. Like, if you listen, as I'm not gonna get into it, I don't want to. Like, I'll be real, but as Romz just said it there, like me as well. I don't condone obviously certain things that obviously have happened. Of course not. But guess what? I'm not flying over to Qatar to make a big noise about it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So the reality is, I'm not going to be spending my time on Twitter or on BBC or on Sky Sports and banging on about it, because the reality is, all you're doing is just trying to. Really and truly, you're monetizing off of the situation of everything anyway, which I find quite disturbing more than anything, is the fact that they're monetizing off of this and it's just fueling agendas. Look, we already know what the Western world think about the other side. So it's like, how about we stop with that level of discrimination, and we can try and see the World Cup. Like, I'm excited to watch the football. Like, do you get what I mean? I want to see, what players, are going to start. Well, I want to see who wins the World Cup. I want to see, brilliant players on show. I don't really care about the outside, because if you did, I'd be in Qatar right now trying to stop it. And I didn't. So let's move on.
Even myself, I'm looking at that game and it's just, I like the fact I'm going and seeing football from a different lens. So the fact I'm seeing people in their kind of, do you know what I mean, their traditional gown. Like, do you know what I mean?
Well,
Gowns.
we're gonna buy 3 of them once we get taken.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
over.
Once we get taken over,
You know what I'm
the photo shoot's happening, man.
You
Photo shoot's happening outside Anfield as well, you know, like
Well,
that.
I was like, Anfield, catch me, Anfield Road, brother.
Right.
But that's what it is. But it's just like I like the fact that we were able to go and see, regardless of your personal thoughts on the burqa and stuff like that. The fact you were able to go and see the women there enjoying it as well, knowing that they're not forced to go to something like that. They could just easily stay at home, but they're there, they're enjoying it. It was a good. I don't know. I actually prefer the World Cup happening in countries where you actually don't know a lot about. Because let's be honest. We don't know about the Middle East like that. As Westerners, we're not exposed to it. We go to Dubai and we fly down there and it's amazing, right? But it's not a real representation of what Middle Eastern culture's like. That's a very Westernized version. Do you know what I mean? A man-made version. You're seeing it completely differently. And what I didn't like from the BBC, to be fair, and I'll critique it, is at every opportunity when they were speaking to fans in the fan park, they tried to get a negative response from fans. So what are your thoughts on what's going on? Well, it's been really great. I mean, we're having all fun. And I mean, like, we go to the shops and you just see everything else that you see in, you know, like back home. And it's only when you go into the suburbs that you see, like a Middle Eastern village and you realize, like I'm in the Middle East. But apart from that, it's great.
Just like you would anywhere else.
Okay, but what about the accommodation then? And he's like, the accommodation's great. Like, this is what we expected. We knew we were getting this accommodation and it's met our expectations. People are looking...
I couldn't stand as well, JJ, yeah? They were like, the BBC stream, there was a guy interviewing one of the England fans like, so what do you think about the prices though? They're quite extortionate. It's like, well, you're going to one of the richer countries in the world, and not only
it's not a pint of flipping beer in a bag.
And once you get there, you know the commentation is going to be no less than 5-star. It's going to be immaculate. It's a no-brainer. I don't get why they were asking them questions. And one of the guys said about, but we can't get beer. You think they care about what Bob and Dave think? We can't have a pint. Like, do you think they care, bro?
Even just to even stop you right there, because someone's probably gonna say in the chat, cool. They said you can't get beer, but obviously, if you've got hospitality tickets, then of course you are allowed to buy beer. Now that is a deterrent to stop, as Romz said, Bob and fucking Dave, your everyday fans, where then, because obviously there's going to be more of a majority of Bob and Dave's than there will be of hospitality fans. So how do I stop the majority being allowed to drink? Guess what? We only offer it to hospitality. So if you are willing to pay that, what is it, 19,000, whatever it is, to pay for a thing, then pay it. You want to drink that badly. Again, this is what I'm talking about, being down for the cause. If you want to drink that badly because it ruins your whole experience of watching the game, pay the 19K. If you don't pay the 19K, shut up.
Especially as us British fans, what did alcohol encourage us to do? Exactly.
Again, I don't want to talk too much before people start cancelling me and all sorts of that. But it's just, these are the kind of things that they do just annoy me a little bit, because I'm just like, you can't be complaining about these kind of small issues, or if you want to call them issues, when in the reality is we're here for the football. We didn't go to Qatar for anything other than football. If you didn't like it, boycott it time ago. When we had the opportunity, we literally had, what was it, like 6 years ago? I swear, was it 4 to 6
years? Man. Those pure years. Was that 6 years ago?
Yeah, 6 to 8 years we've had to boycott this. And now, 2 days before, I'm not even feeling this Qatar thing, You know what? These lot are moving mad. They were moving mad 6 years ago. Why did you have it just doesn't make any sense, man.
It's mad. But obviously, before we kind of get into the comments, so big up everyone that's in the building. Listen, we've got 30 people in the building. I need to see 30 likes off the bat straight away. Boom, boom, just like that, as always. But yeah, we obviously got a special guest. I mean, late, Mr. Late himself. I mean, I think this kind of clip just summarizes what we've been doing, us three, and what this brother's coming in.
It's between me and you. Because while you were sitting around, waiting, doing niche, I was out making moves.
Batting, make moves, and saying FCTV.
Oh God. Lateness and greatness gang, like that. What are you telling me?
Big up.
One big guy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Bless up, man.
yeah.
Bless up.
Before you came in, obviously, I was just saying that obviously you're going to be joining us for the World Cup shows as well. So, I mean, you're going to be making as much as you can. So, obviously, it's a pleasure to obviously have you on board. It means
Come on.
the trio's gone from 4. Means it's proper balanced. Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. It's what we wanted, man. But big up to
I
yourself.
feel like
man.
I'm outnumbered. 3 Ghanaians versus the 1 Caribbean guy. You think
What do you mean, Romel Mensah? What day you born, bro? We'll slap a day name real quick, bro. We'll slap a day name real quick, bro, and we're calm. You know, like that. Romel Yao Mensah. Yeah, let's move.
That's my name, Yao. Still,
Yeah, said that. Get me.
Wait, your actual name?
Yeah. What day now? Real talk.
You
bro.
thought it was Jerry?
What day you born, bro? What day you born? I'm
Thursday,
patting
bro.
you, bro. No, I'm saying
Romz.
Romz. I'm Sunday, innit? I'm crazy, innit? So what day you born, bro? Patting you, bro.
Your first day as well.
Oh, there you go. How did I know that? I just off the dome. Hey, come on,
Yao
I'm a G.
Mensah.
Hey, Romel Yao Mensah. Yeah, no, come on. We've adopted him, brother. Come on, gang business.
What day you born? What's your Ghanaian name?
Thursday.
So Yao as well.
Bare Yaos.
That's
bro.
right.
Yeah, Yao's in the building. This is
Bare
crazy.
Yaos, bro. Holding
This
it
is
down
crazy.
for our Sundays. Sunday boards and that. You get me? We telling
There we
you.
go, man. There we go. But
Hey.
yeah, and before I get into
I
the
was all
comments,
born on Thursday. That's weird.
that's weird.
It's mad,
My
isn't it?
brother's
That's actually weird. That's
it's mad.
actually
My
weird.
brother's born on Thursday as well. So my brother's got the same. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
That's
mad.
crazy.
That's mad. But yeah, before obviously I get into the comments, so big up everyone in the building. We've got 30 people, as I said, so make sure you're smashing the like for us. Saint, before we get into the nooks and cranny of the game, chat to me about what you thought about the kind of the pre-match, the feelings going into the opening ceremony, the coverage by the BBC. Like, let me know what your thoughts.
Hella virtue signaling from certain man. But yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? I thought, I don't know, like maybe it's just me, but I know it's not just me because I've seen the timeline and that, and certain people feel it as well. But it just don't really feel very World Cuppy to me, bro. Like, you know, them ones there. Like, if I'm honest with you, like I'm not like I may be in the minority, but I'm just not really on some like, oh, like it's World Cuppy. Do you know them ones there? So like, I'm here for it though. I'm excited, but I was like, the coverage seems to be okay. The coverage is a bit mad. Like, it's weird, yeah, because like they're covering it well and everything, but at the same time, it's like they're trying to like tick a box. You know, them ones there, like we're not gonna cover it without mentioning certain issues that we're not all right with. But do you know what I mean? Anyways, but then you're still there and you're still doing the thing. So it doesn't. It's a bit for me. It's like, brother, like, you know what I mean? Just get on with it. If you're there, you're all there. Like David Beckham was the one that was like, it's a joke that these men are thinking. Then you're there taking up peas. It doesn't, you know what I mean? The whole thing is a bit mad. So just every moment they've got to come with some like, oh, you know, Declan Rice, what do you feel about? And it's like, brother, like you're there, you're playing now, you're covering it. Like, let's just get on with it, and it is what it is, isn't it? But yeah, so yeah, I think I'm here for it. But
I hear that. A lot of people have been saying the same thing. Just been saying, you know, they're not finished the World Cup. The fact that we didn't even get to see the opening ceremony, they just cut it short. We saw the last few minutes.
That's what I thought it was just me. That's why I never really talked about it, because I thought it was just me. So I thought, because I was doing, swear.
Hey, you know, it started like half an hour prior. It started half an hour.
And we were getting the talk about how Qatar got the World Cup, the corruption, all the FIFA.
Bro, did you see the four black brothers? I was like, these were the only guys that got bribed. Like, them man there said, run my pee. I don't care where it is, bro. I couldn't believe it. They slapped up these 4 brothers. They were all just some dark-skinned brothers just there.
We didn't see Sepp Blatter. We didn't see any
none
of
them. I said it was just these 4 men, yeah, that took peas. Really? Is that how you're doing us? Is that how you're doing us? Oh, man. Crazy, you know.
That's gonna run through some of the comments.
You couldn't have even run the names, yeah? And then we could have maybe have like thought if they, you know, them ones they could have had a young Kofi and they were like, oh, that must have been a black brother. No, you had to slap up their faces, bro. I said, you're out, you're on. And meantime, let's be honest, yeah, this is the thing I'm talking about. They're doing up this stuff, yeah. But we all know that the fact that it's even the maddest fact that it's even there is just due to corrupt. It's due to being paid. Do you know what I mean? But so why are you doing this? Do you know them ones there? Like, it's just it's just long. It's long. It's really long.
It's crazy. And the mad thing is, and on the flip side is, I guarantee you, when England were hosting the Euros and stuff, there was a bit of corruption going on there as well. But that just doesn't get spoken about because FIFA as a whole, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's FIFA as a whole. It's not just the country, innit? Do you know what I mean? It's money talks. It's the highest bidder gets the World Cup. That's what it is.
It's mad.
That's what it is. So it's
Money
crazy.
talks.
Money talks. Yeah. Heard you dirty cash. I let you roll. Are you dumb, bro? And I just wish you know what? It'd be a lot more refreshing if people just said that. Do you know them ones there? Listen, yeah, money talks in it. You know, like that. I hear what you're saying, yeah, but
Or if they were just a bit more transparent, like in terms of, cool, it's gonna more or less go to the highest bidder. So if your country kind of wants to win it, or I don't know, like just maybe you're not gonna come out so blasé and say that, but bro, like, come on, man, like we all know how things are getting done. UEFA, FIFA, the whole night. Like, if anyone's watched that FIFA thing on Netflix, like, bro, like it's just showing you all there, like everything that's going on, you know, in this world.
I've got that queued up still. I'm gonna run that today. Oh yeah,
watch the Ronaldo doc as well. I just have to throw that out there. It's a good documentary still.
Doc or interview doc?
Well, how did you watch it? Do you subscribe to
the R9?
No, it's on BBC. It's on BBC iPlayer.
What? The R9 one?
The R9 one.
I swear it's on Netflix as well.
Say
less. I thought it's on
BBC iPlayer.
It's on BBC iPlayer. That's getting run up tonight.
That's what I'm saying. That's
and when I told you,
I think wearing it like a kid, bro. Not even shave the rest of this and just keep this top bit, bro. Not like that,
bro. I don't know. This ain't O2 and that, so I don't know. Like if that's gonna bang the way.
I had to get the pictures of that. You know, you man will be creasing. You man,
even my man said. You see the advert? Even my man said, "What are you doing, bro?" I said, "It's a style."
Even because we're in like World Cup mode now, obviously, where that mostly like I don't want to spoil it, but like say like the beginning of that documentary is talking about Ronaldo, World Cup, and just what it actually means to play in a World Cup, what it means to be, you know, a player who the whole country is on your neck. And I mean on your neck, no one else, your neck to win this World Cup. Not even, yeah, we need you to have a good World Cup. Nah, brother, you need to come back to Brazil with the trophy, you know. Crazy.
Hey, listen, crazy. And G, we spoke about it. Obviously, we're going a bit off topic, but before I move on to the comments, but there's one player in this World Cup right now that's got the same thing. He's from the same country, and he's going the same.
Neymar.
His neck. It's on his. We spoke about his name. It's on his neck. You're the one to bring it home, bro. When you were 21, you would have.
You know what? Yeah, it's mad because like I feel like there's, and this is my perception, but I feel like a lot of men are like looking at Neymar like, yo, brother, you better bring it home, you know. But then, but like Messi, people are like, I really hope he does, you know. Like, you know, that one thing, it's not that, you know, like that. It's not that like it's one of them ones.
That's true.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, Captain Sal saying disgraceful by the BBC. Trudon saying they're disgraced as well. We've got Marco in the building saying big up the man, then big up to yourself. Yeah, no opening ceremony as you said. Ravi
I'm so glad you said that, bro. I never even mentioned it because I thought it was just me, but I was like, oh, maybe I was doing my daughter. I was looking after my daughter as well, innit? So I thought she was doing up madness. I was like, what's going on here? Like, did I miss it or something? So I thought, let me just stay quiet. Man said you never got it as well. That's outrageous. That's disgraceful, bro. That's disgraceful.
That's a joke. Ravi saying, I like Alex Scott. She talks sense. Fairs. JB saying, pitch look 10-10. I wonder what will happen with it after the World Cup, though. Yeah, interesting, isn't it? Interesting. They said they're going to turn it into like community hubs and that type of thing. So, I mean, put it this way, it might even be a Sunday League team stadium, you know, like that. You know, like they play on the pitch.
Man,
like, the country's so small that might pitch, bro. Do you know what I mean?
There has to be some sort of legacy still.
You know what I mean? So yeah, big up.
Hey Sammy, no, he's not, bro. Man saying Vinny is Brazil main man. Stop playing.
That's Madrid bias.
But as I like, he's really not.
Sammy,
bro.
big up to yourself.
He's really not. Let's not do that, Sammy. Come on, bro. Did you see the thing? Just off topic. Did you not see the drone thing with the touch?
No.
You've not seen it, Jade. They drop it from what 40 feet. Neymar.
The Neymar thing.
Hey, you're talking about Vinny. Get out of here, man. Get out of here.
I don't want to go off topic, but do you see why when Top Reds compare Salah to this man, I go crazy. I'm like,
bro, get out of here. Hey, let's not act like Salah can't bring down a ball though, but not like I'd love to see. Let's see.
There's levels.
I hear you. Vinny was
Look about it. You had Vinicius there, you had Rodrigo there, you had all them.
See my boy though. I've been back. Hey, see Rodrigo though. Don't underrated, you know. Trust
He's
me.
underrated.
I've been saying this. Hey, Rodrigo just don't get the. He's not the star name in there, but boy,
And Anthony didn't even touch the
you know.
ball. Anthony even come down.
Richarlison was on a mad thing. Man said,
bro, there's levels,
bro, levels.
Yeah, we got it as well. Trudon saying, I'm all for it. It's the World Cup, not enough not Europe, South America Cup. Exactly. Kendall Rowan saying, big up to yourself, saying, because England fans definitely painted themselves in a good light with drink at the Euros, innit? And then storming Wembley, like,
them, though.
and storming the stadium like it was like something like the Munich putsch, you know, like that, like storming.
Bro,
even
speaking of that, yeah, if that happened and I've touched wood, and I hope it does not happen. If that happens in Qatar, oh my days, the way Qatar will just get
tournament will be cancelled. I think the
I think they'll just cancel it. I think they'll just fully cancel the whole thing and be like, nope, it's too unsafe. We gotta get everybody out of there. We gotta leave. And I'm like,
bro, our media will cover it for the next 2 years every day.
You think that these men will forget? These men will forget that it's the Western world, bro. Them man there will start capping that.
Yeah, you know.
No, don't forget, bro. They start doing them like they do them. Bro, are you dumb, bro? Head topping, man. Like, you dumb. But I feel for them, bro, because watching England, for 90 minutes with no juice, but it's hard work, fam. In that heat, bro, it's hard work, fam. Yeah. Man. Them man, they play ugly football, bro. It's peak, bro. You need 1 or 2 beers just to, you know, like that. Have you feeling a bit? Nah, bro. Enjoy. Mad thing.
Jamie Phillip built up to himself saying, I got some great news. My daughter going to be home this week. She's been in hospital for 16 weeks. Perfect. Jesus Christ, that's amazing. Listen, if that's not good news, I don't know what it is. So big up to yourself, man. Congrats. But cool. Getting into the game, guys. Then, man. Obviously, we don't know a lot about Qatar as a team. If you've done your research, you probably figure out there's a couple players. Romz actually knows the striker, to be fair.
Come on, Ali Amiz. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's my guy, bro. That's
my guy, you know.
I don't have a clue.
That's my guy, you know.
I just see his record at the start. That's a bad boy record. I think it was 41 goals in 92 games. 92, if you score that for anyone, scored it for the nation, big up. But I didn't know a single Qatari player, bro. I keep it a buck. But I mean, going into it, obviously they didn't have a lot of star quality. They had a couple players that showed they had glimpses where it was like some individual, a moment might win them the game, but it just wasn't good enough in it. And you just saw and Ecuador, like, in my opinion, I don't know what you guys think, but they weren't great. They weren't that good.
It's just levels. It's just levels, Jerry, bro.
We've seen in previous years, you know, it might have been like a Saudi Arabia versus Spain, and I'm not comparing Ecuador to Spain, but Spain spanked Saudi Arabia. Germany have spanked these teams. This is a 2-0, like, and it could have easily been a 2-1 on a couple of occasions. It's not even a 2-2. If the couple strikes are just a bit better or like a header on target, we could be talking about a different game. I don't know.
Remember my man missed the head on the, like, he kind of jumped awkward. He jumped way.
Yeah. If he scores that now,
he scores that. It's different. I feel like. Do you know what it was? Yeah, for me, it's just levels. You know, like that. Like, these men weren't bad, but it was just levels, bro. Like, you know, them ones. Then I think Ecuador figured that out rather quickly. Like, the way they were just able to control the game. Just bypass the midfield when they needed to, very direct, like drawing them out. Like, their pressing game was good. They just realized that, listen, we've got control over this. Do you know what I mean? And I think once the second goal went in, it was just game management for them, man. There, do you know, them ones there was like, listen, especially because of my man, their captain as well. I still don't think they were trying to, smashed it, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they just.
Do you know what it was from Ecuador's point of view? They're thinking, even if Qatar at 100%, we can be at 60 and still beat them. That was probably their thought process going. I know you can't underestimate any opposition, especially the opening game of the group stage, let alone the whole tournament. But one thing I'll say about Qatar that Jerry said, second half, Qatar had a spell, and it weren't no short spell for about 20, 25 minutes. They were popping it, and I thought, hold on, you lot just need a more clinical. Because what's the guy you said, Jerry? Afif, the one that's been at Seville.
Yeah.
Look, he
Afif.
started to come into the game. He started to go into the game. And I thought, yeah, this is what Jerry was on about. This guy can be influential. And he was pulling strings, but the strikers just couldn't finish their dinner. But they had that glaring header, in the last 20
That header, that one,
They put that in. That last 10,
How he missed that as well is outrageous. I don't know, but that was their first time.
It's levels.
That was that was the first time. See that header? It was the first time that they'd actually been in the box, created the shot. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it was just levels.
Like you said, saying it's levels that they're not used to playing at that high level. So if that was maybe even I don't know, if that was even possibly even a Saudi Arabia, that's probably a better Middle Eastern nation. They probably put that away. Do you know what I mean? Because majority of their players might have played at a higher level.
They're Iran, different.
Yeah.
Watch Iran. Iran ain't Qatar. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they're a Middle Eastern
Qatar
team.
beating Ecuador though.
Yeah,
they beat
I
them.
saw the free match, innit?
Say that again. Iran have, yeah?
No,
Qatar.
Qatar beating Ecuador before.
They said it before.
And not only that as well. Like, big up to M. Mizzy. He's like, I mean, he's our scout for the Asian region at the moment. They're the Asian champions. So the likes of China, South Korea, like they've beaten them. They've won the tournament.
It's levels, those World Cup. This is their first one.
No. Of course. Of course.
First one. They're hosting it. It's just levels, bro. You know them ones there, like
it's levels. But what I'm saying is, you can see that there was a bit of like, you know what? They played within themselves. You can see.
Look, watch them. Regardless of what happens if they come out, watch them in their fourth game. Watch them. Watch. Do you know what I mean? They will be a different team.
Because I was looking at and for example, their keeper really put them under pressure, because that first madness he did when he just missed the ball and the ball went in, the goal went in, and it was offside. It set the tone. I looked at that and I was like, you know what? They're gonna go direct after that every single long ball. And you can see they'll just put it on his head or putting the ball in the air. And
that's how they play anyways. They just needed. They didn't even need no encouragement. They're good for that. Do you know them ones there? So like, as soon as they just went for blood, like, do you know them ones there? They love to put the ball in the box, and they hustle and bustle for that second ball when they're there or there about it. So yeah, like, it was peak for them. Peak.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. It's just it's mad. And I looked at that Qatar team, and for me in that game, I know Afif looked decent. He weren't good today, man. He weren't good. For me, he was hiding. For me, he was hiding. Yeah. Obviously, I know he started off up front because they played a 5-3-2 or whatever. Qatar did. But when they did that, it made it very easy for Ecuador to outnumber them, because in possession they were much better, and the two couldn't really keep up. Do you know what I mean? Pressing that back line, popping the ball with Moises Caicedo dropping in as well, making it 3 or overloading them. So it was difficult, and I think you could see. Look, he's a nice and tidy player, but there's a reason why he didn't make it at Sevilla. Like, there's a reason why, because a lot of the times where he had chances to go and turn and be a bit more direct and try play the ball forwards, he was popping it off. So he looked nice and tidy, but it was the same type of thing that we used to groom Minamino for. It was like, bruv, Minamino looks nice and tidy, but what are you actually doing in the game? And it's just like, you're not really offering.
That's what I was getting on to Elliot at the start of the season for. Like, you're getting in positions, but where's your productivity? So I hear you just look pleasing on the eye.
I like that. I like that, Jerry. I like that, Jerry. Man went for Minamino and Elliot. You know, there's a bigger elephant in the room in it. But cool, anyways. Let's move on.
Who's the elephant, bro? Who's the elephant?
Yeah.
No, that's what I said, Elliot, at the start of the season. I'm giving man his flowers recently. I said I chose my words correctly.
Listen, if you want to say anything about Joe, say it now. Say it now, bro. Say it now.
Nah, World Cup. It's World Cup. Not doing that. We don't just World Cup. World Cup.
Man, if there's anything you want to say, talk your talk, bro.
But he knew exactly who I was.
He knew exactly. Yeah, of course.
Sorry, do your thing.
No. All I'm gonna ask, like, obviously we watched that game. Yeah, obviously Ecuador were level above Qatar. But Ecuador don't even look that great. Like, I feel like
that's what I'm saying.
They were kind of meaty, even though they were, and obviously because Qatar are dead. So you're playing against a dead team. The reality is, I expect you to come out and do your thing. But then I was watching Ecuador, and I was obviously just trying to see, like,
I don't know, G, man.
Everyone, because everyone was talking about like Caicedo and stuff. Like, I was like,
He had a good game,
he was,
bro.
he-
I
he-
don't know,
I mean,
bro.
meaty
Bro,
game.
it was
meaty.
me. Yeah. I hear you what you're saying in terms of who they
Very
were playing.
meaty, bro.
But the first
Very
20 minutes away, I thought they looked good, bro.
No,
I was like,
because the
yo.
first 20 minutes was as soon as Jerry said, as soon as the goalkeepers put Qatar under pressure, Ecuador have just smelt blood. So they've just gone boom, 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 boom.
But it wasn't,
Qatar
and it's funny because they said Ecuador and Hovia and Brighton Hovian FC, but it wasn't, it was very much their type of play. It was very much their type of play. It wasn't Burnley-esque, even though they smelled blood, where it was just, that's why I was quite impressed. They took their time. They were building. They were, did you get it? Boom, boom, boom. And then they were taking, I was like, okay, they've got a bit of like, and then the game did get meaty. I get it.
Yeah.
But I was like, there was I know, I hear you. But then Ecuador aren't no one's dark horse in the competition.
No, of course. And this is it. That's why I had to keep thinking to myself. I was like, I'm not watching like the Netherlands or like Serbia or somewhere where I think, oh, yo, they might do something in the tournament, like Croatia, like, them kind of teams. But at the same time, I think it's just when I was watching that game,
this just showed the levels. Like you're
literally,
it's not even there, and Qatar just went. Do you know what I'm saying?
I want to see more from like certain players. Like I don't know. I feel like Caicedo. Like I don't know. Like I feel like.
And this brings you to my point, G. Because it's for you, like I said here, the fact that we expect so much. For me, you just did the basics right. But because of the level of opposition you're playing and the caliber of players you're playing against, you should be doing so much more. So I don't think he had a bad game, but in isolation, he did. No. He did, because you should be doing much more in that game. Like, he didn't stand out to me. If I didn't know who Caicedo was before that game, I just think he was the next other Ecuador. You know what I mean?
The same, bro. They all had the same trim. They all look the same.
No, that's another thing. They really do. They really do, though. They saw the next, brother. They saw, what was the next you? On the left.
World Cup trim, bro. Got one barber.
Yeah.
One that come on.
Aspin, some next to you. And I was like, brother, he looks just like Caicedo. Like, he looks, well, I'm telling you, what's going on? Same complexion as man. But I don't know. Like, I thought Caicedo had a good game. I'm one of them ones where I like the basic. Sometimes that's all that's needed. It's a World Cup game. It's your first game. We kind of come out of this clean sheet. Do you know them ones there? He was he when you're looking at it, he was the best on their team. Like, he was. He didn't do too much.
Was he though?
He caught a yellow card early, remember? He caught, and I think that put the shackles.
Exactly. And that even annoyed me. I was like, bro, I expect you, like, in a game like this, it's like if we all go to fives right now, add another person in, whoever the best person is here, I expect you to be able to show that why you're the level above the four of us sitting here or the three of us sitting here. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, there's a reason why everyone keeps talking about you. There's a reason why supposedly other teams are, top Premier League teams are looking at you. As Romz said, brother, you look like everybody else who was on that pitch, and I definitely didn't even recognize that you was there. Now, that's not criticizing him. He didn't play shit at all. No one played shit. They won 2-0 and they killed Qatar. But I'm just saying, like, if I'm just looking at the game in isolation and I'm watching Caicedo, you got yourself a yellow card, which is already a minus in your point game. So then I'm thinking, now, what did you actually offer now for the rest of the game? Nothing really. Yes, you kept it tidy, you kept it safe, you kept it boring. Is that the type of player that you are? Fair enough. Then I guess I've just got to see more of that.
And the problem you've got as well with those yellow cards is that, like I said, tournament football, right? So I wouldn't even care about the fact that he had the performance he did, because in a tournament, think about it. If they get their 3 points, that's it. That they need that 3 points. If they didn't get 3 points now, it would be tragic, because they know they've got Senegal and obviously the Netherlands next, right? Yeah. So it's gonna be a problem. So cool, you get through that step, but you got a yellow card now. You're definitely gonna get, in my opinion, he's definitely gonna get a yellow card in either.
They said what his record is.
I was like, Senegal. What happens then? The next game after that, if they go through, he can't even play the game because he gets a suspension. And that's the problem you got now in tournament football. That's why it was a bit of a silly challenge. But look, he's their own player.
Even back to their best player.
One second, Romz. But yeah, before obviously Romz goes, we're gonna get someone that's wanted to come on, wants to share his 2 cents. Still repping Liverpool hard though, which is crazy. Man like Jamie Phillips in the building. Big up.
Hey guys, you all right? How's everyone? Oh,
how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to the World Cup starting tomorrow. I know that. I'm looking forward to that.
Tomorrow,
this was dog, man. This was terrible. What have FIFA done to this competition? Stop.
Nah, man, that's a bit harsh,
It's
man.
That's a bit harsh, Jay. That's a bit harsh, bro.
That's a bit harsh.
I don't want to see pub teams in a World Cup, man.
But it's not top teams. It's nations, bro. That's
Qatar
a bit harsh, bro.
I'm telling you right now, Dartford Football Club will give Qatar a game. I'm telling you right now.
Qatar Asian champions.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
They've beaten South
it'll be
Korea
different if it was.
with
If it was the Champions League, bro, this is nations, bro. Like you got nations.
I'm South London pool champion. I mean, I don't really, you know what I'm saying? I don't care. It was poor, man. It's poor. That was the worst opening game to a World Cup I've ever seen, and I've watched a few World Cups. It was awful. Ecuador.
I'll give you this, Jamie. Yeah, I'll give you this, Jamie. Yeah. Bar.
Didn't England lose to
Bar
Ecuador?
City.
Bar City. All right.
They did.
Bar City, yeah. Brother, Bar City and Rangers. I don't think many games we played this season have been of higher quality than the football which we've seen. Big facts. And look at who. Nah, come on, bro. Like. I'm not saying this was great. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. It wasn't.
But what are you
there was
expecting
these
from? No, but what are you expecting?
Do you know what I mean? From
the lowest nation in the FIFA rankings, that no one expect. They themselves.
No one's expecting Brazil, bro.
We know where we are.
Do you guys
He
think?
even said that, Jerry.
Do you guys think teams like Qatar should be in a World Cup?
Say that again.
Do you think teams like Qatar should be in a World Cup? Do you reckon
Why
it should be just
hosting it? Everyone should have a chance, 100%. I don't care where you're from.
Bro, I'm from Ghana and Trinidad, so I'm from small nations. That's why I'm like, this is nations you're talking about. I'm not talking about teams. Like, if Trinidad get in there, we're gonna get smoked. But you think I'm not gonna be there, and I'm not gonna fly, and I'm not gonna be happy that we're there, and I'm not gonna like. It's a world. That's the whole point.
Football, we can't be using the whole argument of football's supposed to be for everyone.
But then be like only the
nation for their kind of.
I have this for everything, though. Like the Champions League, I think it should only be the champions who play European football.
But that's fair enough because
I have it for everything. I'm not.
I get that, but like as a nation, do you know what I mean?
All big sporting events, I think, should just be the best of the best going.
Yeah, but then what happens? But Jamie, what happens with nations? That's fair. I think what happens with nations though is that because of where the money is situated for nations, it's only going to be the European teams, and you might get the odd South American team.
I get that. I mean, Europe. Yeah, I mean, Europe play most of the football, don't they? To be fair.
It is. But for example, Ghana wouldn't have gone and had the run they've had. I mean, Senegal wouldn't be able to go and see them. Greece when they won the Euros wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? Wouldn't.
And like, do you know what? And do you know what it does for like? Do you know? And Jamie, yeah. And I think it's mad, yeah, because like. Especially for like, all right, so England would be in there because of how great and how good the football is, yeah. But up until the like England won it, and do you know what it did for English football after that? So like these like being in it and like, do you know what I mean? Even like competing, what it does for like the quality of the nations, like football and stuff like that, like English football, all of a sudden. Because of all the shit we was coming from, do you know what I mean? It's stuff like that. So it's bigger than just like with World Cup. That's why I'm like with the way in which you see things. I think it's more relevant for like champion teams. That's the team. Do you get it? That's why.
Fair enough. I just don't want a competition watered down because obviously the next World Cup ain't going to be 64 teams or something. I just don't want something that's so good watered down. Do you know what I mean?
No. One thing I agree with is there shouldn't be any easy bias. Obviously,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean by it.
If after the next World Cup don't perform, I don't want to go and see them like be there not on merit. Because they're hosting the World Cup, I think that's a point where it's like what?
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
And look, it was one game, but we've seen madnesses. Imagine Qatar go and turn it up and they manage to qualify some random way.
Yeah,
I mean, it will be ridiculous.
I think in terms like Iran, even Iran that we're playing, like I think because of the success in which they've had, like in terms of like their country and slowly now the quality of football is a lot better, and I think like. That's what Qatar could get to because of the exposure in which they've had from something like this. Do you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, but really and truly, you teams that are supposed to be the teams should be doing to them what do you know what I mean? Should be battering these teams and moving on. And then very quickly, it becomes a competition in which we all want. You know, them ones there. Like
Italy didn't qualify, and Italy are supposed to be a top nation.
Yeah. I mean, you're all right. Look, guys, you're all right on that. But what I'm trying to like.
But I know what you mean in terms of
what I'm trying to say. I don't want a watered down product. That's all I'm trying to say about everything. Everyone deserves to be there.
I think it's manage your expectations as well.
Yeah.
And as soon as you see Qatar and thing, you're like, what time it is. You know.
And I like with qualifying as well. So like teams like San Marino and stuff like that. For me, they should have to qualify to get into qualifiers. So they're not just getting battered every week for like no reason.
I hear that. To be fair,
I don't want watered down products.
Yeah, I got you.
Qatar deserve to be where they are because they're the host of the World Cup. Big up to them. I want to say one thing on the BBC woke bollocks. Yeah, right. The BBC need to get off their trolley. Right. If they don't think the Western world is as bad as the rest of the world, then they need to put their head in a bucket and kick it. Because the country they're speaking on in Great Britain colonised how many countries? You know what I mean? And we've still got a Commonwealth today. So all this hypocrisy has got to stop. It's got to stop. We're all wearing, you reckon this Nike Liverpool t-shirt was made not dodgy? Do you know what I'm saying? It's just, we got to stop with all this. We've got to stop with all this hypocrisy. The BBC have got to get over themselves. They should have been showing the world.
You can't criticise something that you're a part of.
They should have been showing the country of Qatar in a good light and showing the world how great this country is, right? And showing people, come to Qatar, look how beautiful this country is. Look at it. Yeah, they got laws, right? They got laws that they go by, right? We have laws we go by. You've got to go by our laws. Why do we think we don't have to go by their laws when we go over there? What's that about? And if you can't drink, yeah, exactly, because British people are pricks, right? And when they get right, you can't drink over there. Me and G were talking about this the other day. You can't drink over there. So what? Go and get a pint of Pepsi and just chill, man. You're watching a game of football. Drink when you're healthy as well.
Pint of Pepsi.
Jay, I'm hardcore. So that's you know what I mean. Drink when you get back to your hotel. Drink when you get back to your hotel. You know what I mean?
That's like 4 cans, bro.
It's just ridiculous, man.
Do you know what's funny as well? Yeah, is the hypocrisy on the hypocrisy. People are like, as soon as it's something that people care about, then all of a sudden they're ready to point their fingers. Like, but isn't it like you're not allowed to drink? They've changed their mind, but in the corporate seats you are allowed to drink, and they're like 12,000. So like, just if you had money. But I'm like thinking, hold on a second. The whole point of World Cup being in Qatar is due to money. Like, so like, like that. Like, it's you can't.
Did you see the interview of the big geezer on BBC the other day? I think it was just the big geezer, about 30 stone, standing there. We paid a lot of money to come to Qatar, and we just found out we can't drink alcohol. I feel like I've been lied to. Get over yourself, mate. Yeah, I see the clip. Get over yourself. You're there to watch a game of football and immerse yourself into the country that you've gone to. Oh my God, you want to get pissed up? What, like all the hooligans that got pissed up at last Euros and destroyed Wembley? Is that what you want?
People got very short, very, 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 very short memories. But again, this is why I just say I don't even care about it. Like, I don't care what's going on in Qatar. I really don't care. Like, I was
going to say, can I just interject, G? I don't know if I can speak for all of us, but after today, like literally after the 20th of November, I'm not speaking on these human rights issues. I'm just right now. Bro. This is just boring, bro. Honestly, I know we have to somewhat speak about it, but after this stream, that up and down till the World Cup ends, literally just dissecting the games, what we love.
Makes me want to go to Qatar. That's what it makes me want to do. I want to go to Qatar.
That's how we should all feel, though. We should all feel that we want to go there. Like,
I looked at that and I was like, big up to was it Jess from the Football Terrace, because I saw she had gone and posted. I think I'm not sure if Terry went. No, Terry hasn't gone. Qatar looks ridiculous. It looks ridiculous, like in terms of the infrastructure, and that's what I'm saying. But like focusing on going back to the game before, obviously, like move off topic.
Sorry, come on, I ruined everything.
No. He didn't ruin anything. He didn't ruin anything. But Enna Valencia, man, obviously moving like a veteran now. But I remember him at West Ham, showed a lot of promise.
Doing his thing. Yeah.
Listen, that was a ridiculous. That was a ridiculous header.
You know that header was sauce, bro.
You see, even his disallowed goal, that's causing a lot of controversy. that was literally his typical goal that he'll score for West Ham. Scrappy, last minute, in off the shoulder or the head. That is literally an Valencia for the disallowed one. And once he scored that, I said, no, he's gonna probably get another. He's probably gonna get another 1 or 2. And you know, he said earlier, saying that maybe for you, Caicedo might have been the best player. For me, it weren't even because of Valencia's goals why he was man of the match. It was everything else. The link up, the runs in behind. He was stretching play. He was doing so. He looked levels above everyone. Not even just Qatar's team, even the own players in his team. He looked miles better than. I think he had a blinder, and it's unfortunate he had to come off because he probably would have got the hat trick.
Yeah, do you know what it was? It was more for me because of the what's it? I agree with everything you said. It was more because of the challenge, innit? And even before he come off, because it happened just before the half, and that he started playing in himself, innit? Do you know them ones there? And so, but he was still cold. You're right. Do you know them ones there? So
didn't he come off and have ice on his? I see he's got a bit of ice.
Apparently he hurt his knee, and he wanted to come off a little bit earlier. Apparently.
Yeah, but it's mad. Like I looked at Valencia and I was just like, you know what? You never know with tournament football because you know when the striker gets going like that, 2 goals, could have had 3 when you think about it because one was ruled for offside and it was millimeters. It was a correct call, but still, he looked like he's going to go and get goals. He's going to be a threat for the Netherlands. He's going to be a threat, and if we haven't seen Ecuador tested defensively like that to actually know how they're going to be able to go and cope against better nations.
Bad.
But if defensively they can be somewhat solid, they know they've got a guy that can go and get you goals. And it reminds me a lot of Ghana with Asamoah Gyan. We saw it where defensively relatively solid, but can get the 1 or 2 goals in the game to go and get through. And because it's a tournament football, it's a weird one now because before the tournament, no one's thinking of Valencia saying, "Oh, is he going to go and get goals?" But you're looking.
I didn't even remember he was even playing for Ecuador.
Exactly, and it's at 2014. No, I did just because of obviously when I was doing the thumbnails and stuff. But obviously, Valencia now experienced, has got the goals. If he's fit, like I'm putting it out there, could they be a dark horse now? Obviously, they haven't fought anyone, but could they potentially come out of that group? We know Senegal haven't got Mane.
I think we had. Didn't we have Ecuador going through when we did the predictions?
I feel like we did. Yeah, because remember I said to you, I said there's no Mane.
We did because of Mane. You're right. We did. Like that's what I'm saying. Is it now more of a confirmed thing, like where it might actually be because they've got the 3 points on the board now.
Yep, they got the advantage.
If things go as not as planned, but if we're looking at it and thinking, you know what, Netherlands are more superior and they're probably going to get the result against Senegal, that puts Senegal on the back foot already, where they got no points after the first round, and they've got 1 more game. Do you know what I mean?
I can see that game being a draw, you know. And they got
who was the and pause straight away. Who was the guy with the he came off the bench, he had a curly head. He just looked like a sweet boy. But I don't know what his name is though.
Listen. No, can I do the introduction?
My man, the light skin.
I've been watching him.
Yeah, like I was like, who are you? Like,
I've been watching him. No, Sarmiento. He's on about
Sarmiento. That's it. Sarmiento. Yeah. That's it.
Imagine he was a child.
He's an addict. No, he's an addict.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say, bro. I saw him. I saw him in England. I saw him in the England under-17s game years ago, like 3-4 years ago. I said, "Who is this brother?" I did my research on him. He come from Charlton, so Jerry's going to be gassed. He come from Charlton. He was an addict for years, like from like age 11 to like 18. Then he went Benfica. From when they have one of the best academies in the world, let alone Europe. When you're making that move, you have to be something. And he's gone to Brighton. He went to Brighton with an injury. Potter didn't play him, and De Zerbi still ain't playing him. But I said that before a ball had been kicked in the summer. Sarmiento is a baller. And now he came on. You saw that injection of pace. He was clean with the ball. He should have scored. He should have
scored. He had that. Yeah, he had that shot.
I think it was offside in the end.
But he's a baller. He's actually a baller. I can't wait till he proves it in Prem as well.
You know when someone comes off the bench like without even hearing his name, like obviously they said it, and then I was looking at him thinking, I don't know, like you just look
also,
like someone
you also don't look like
Agro Santos or something.
Exactly.
He just look like
he
just looks like wavy little Portuguese. Look at you.
He just reminds me of the guy that I remember if you see them in the cages and that, like, but he's probably one of the guys I'll come. I know this guy's gonna bust all the tricks. He's gonna dust past at least 5 man easily, and he's gonna
You know the
embarrass.
man that wear tape and wear
Yeah,
hat,
yeah,
wear
yeah, yeah,
socks
you're just
over
like,
their
right,
knee.
okay.
Yeah, bro. Them
That's
guys there.
scary.
But
You
no,
know, when I saw-
when he
when-
came on, he did kind of change it up a little bit in terms of like obviously he also laid that pass on for I can't remember the attacker's name, and it was just a little bit too strong. And I thought to
Yeah,
myself,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
cool.
And then he
And
cut
even
it
the
back.
commentator,
Yeah.
even the commentator was saying, you know, if that was at 0-0, then you probably would have played that maybe a bit more carefully. And I thought, yeah, he probably would have,
You know,
because they were always trying to go a bit gung ho
You
at
know
that
what,
point in
yeah.
time. But
when I first saw him 3-4 years ago, I prayed because he was playing for England under 17 youth. I said, please change. I know you've got that South American country in you. Please change allegiance because England will stifle you. Like, I don't want you to play for England. And when I heard he changed allegiance to Ecuador, I was so glad. Look, now he's at a World Cup. If he switches allegiance to England, he'll be at home. Do you know what I mean?
He's
there's a lot
talented.
of players like that, to be
Easy.
fair. There's a lot of
You
players
get
like that.
me? Like,
Ron,
He's
there's a
like Carvalho as well.
Yeah,
Carvalho,
yeah, I was about to say your boy Carvalho.
Yeah.
He's trying to play for England, ain't he?
Portugal.
He's like, he's got a bad attitude, Carvalho, but that's another day. I was just looking behind me.
What? Fabio Carvalho.
Yeah, did you see? Apparently, he just texted the Portuguese under-21 coach, said, I don't want to play for you no more.
Oh,
But this is what I didn't understand. I was like, why?
so he's
What-
picked
what-
England.
Well, he
but
don't
like,
want to play,
no,
he
no,
don't want to
no,
play
no,
for
no.
Portugal, apparently.
Yeah, I want to know, is it because he's trying to, sorry guys, I know guys in the chat were going a bit off topic, but is it because he's trying to go and play for England, or is it was he just didn't want to play under 21s right now?
I have
He
no
wanted to train
idea.
at
he
Liverpool?
looks like he's got a bag of nations he could play for, though. Still,
That's
Just take a picture of you. You could play for
He
Belgium.
could play for
can play-
India, Portugal.
he could play for. I'm telling you, a bag of them. He could play.
Is that
Whoever he
life for
wants,
pie?
blood.
Is that life for pie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it as well?
He could play for all.
Jamie,
you
I
could
know
just
this
say-
guy.
you could just say
Jamie,
sports,
bro.
bro. You just
Fuck
see Carvalho doing up cricket. You're like, raw. I swear, my man was.
I swear, man, I was thinking, okay, say no more, bro.
G
Say
and
no
Jerry,
more.
G and Jerry couldn't stop laughing. I remember I saw it in a tweet before we went on stream. I saw it in a tweet. I said, "You man, I've seen the funniest tweet. Someone's called Cavallo and apple pie." The stream just went silent for like 30 seconds. We were just laughing, bro.
The
Because he
thing
actually
is, the
looks
reason
like
I'm laughing is because the picture looks so accurate, like the hair.
That's all he
everything.
needs. All he needs is a young mustache, and you're trying to tell me that he's not. Yes, he is, bro.
Yeah, of
Man,
course.
that he got that young Carvalho mustache. Come on, bro.
no, that's bad though, James. You can't just text your lad. No,
Yeah, just got on the blower and like, I can't bother getting out of bed, so I'm not going to turn up. You know what I mean? It's like, that's a bad thing, you know? I was just looking behind me and thinking, this is a World Cup, and I've got a shitload of Liverpool behind me.
Yeah.
I've got to change that up, man.
You're gonna have to change up. You might have to, get England or something in the back.
No, I'll get my big Argentina flag out. And put it
Oh,
on.
Argentina. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Argentinian,
my
Jamie.
France jersey ready, like.
Yeah, Argentina ain't going to play 5 at the back against Iran, you know what I mean?
No.
When we
But,
see that tomorrow, that's just gonna
Yeah,
be mad.
the one thing I wanted to talk about as well from an Ecuador perspective was Estupinan at left back. I think he was really, really good.
Very good player.
I think he was very, very good. I think
Yeah.
tight spaces, really, really nice on the ball.
I remember
Came
him.
inside when he had to. His delivery was good.
Mm.
Linked up well. He was obviously didn't get a goal or assist, but in that game he's the other one I looked and I was like, he's just a bit. I mean, he's a left back, but he's just a bit better than everyone else on that pitch.
Yeah.
Like, he could easily play left wing or right wing, and we'd be talking about him saying, "Oh yeah, he's having his fullback up for lunch." I think he was quite good. I think they've actually got a player there. And do you guys think then that Sarmiento could potentially start in the next game alongside Caicedo and Estupinan? Because obviously they probably have got a lot of chemistry, and the fact that Ecuador haven't had time to even work on anything in the team and stuff, that chemistry might actually be crucial in terms of
boys
going forward.
I think, I think that's what you just said there about like in terms of the chemistry and stuff like that. I feel like Estupinan, when he kind of like watching him play, I feel like, who they got next? Senegal or Netherlands?
Senegal next. Who? Ecuador.
Yeah, Ecuador. Yeah,
Ecuador, Netherlands. I think Netherlands.
Okay,
Qatar.
cool. It then just kind of depends on, do you change a winning formula? Do you keep everything exactly the same? How good were you before any of the substitutions, for example, were made in the game in itself? Do you felt like you played a lot better? Is Senegal going to come out in a different way in terms of how obviously they play as opposed to how Qatar play? And I think where all of that will come in, I feel like you're just going to see it more or less the same. But at the same time, Ecuador are very good. I feel like Ecuador going forward, that will be their strong area, obviously, them going forward. That for me is where I was watching the game. I was like, okay, cool. I don't really care about what you're kind of doing in the middle of the park. It was really outside and getting the ball into Enner Valencia. Get the ball into him. He's the goal scorer. Just get the ball to him. He's the guy who's going to put the ball in the back of the net for you. And as you said, this might be one of the tournaments where he's on 2 goals already, bro. Like, score 3 more in the next 2 games.
He has 5 in this group, easily.
Exactly. All of a sudden, he's probably going to be top goal scorer the whole tournament. Like, I feel like certain teams like an Ecuador or all these lower teams who we don't really put as dark horses, bro, keep it kind of basic in a sense of what are you good at? Cool, we're good at doing this. Let's just continue doing that. Let's not try
That's what I was trying to say about Cancedo, bro. That's what I was happy about, because you see, when you're playing like a Qatar and that, sometimes you can find yourself trying to do the most, and then the shape is all mad. And, you know what I mean?
You're hit on the counter or something.
You know the ones, and you're just trying to do. Yeah, do you see what I'm saying? I just like the fact that they were just. I thought, right, okay. Do you know what I mean? Like as soon as they had the pressure they had on Qatar, bro, they could not get it on the counter. I was like, okay, I like that. Like they were very like structured. Do you know them ones there? And then we're just trying to feed my man, Pause. So yeah,
it'd be interesting to see Ecuador against a stronger nation in the next game.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, Jay. That's when we start feeding them out, innit?
I think they were quite. I think Ecuador felt very comfortable in this game. And look, I think Qatar had a fan in goal. I'm not going to lie here. I think they.
The goalie.
Yeah, the goalie.
Apparently, I don't know how true this is, but apparently that was his first professional game. That's what the timeline said.
I got scared for him. I got scared for him. You know, I got scared for him like life threatening. You know, them ones. I was like, yo, if I was related to my man, I'm taking a vacation, bro. I'm out of here, bro. Like, you know, them way there. Like,
did you see him clatter into the Ecuador forward?
Oh yeah, that looked mad.
And then turn and then try and switch on his defender. I said, big man,
that was all you. And I know second half, he's like he patterned up a bit and he was a bit more solid. Like Germany made a couple good saves, but after that it was curtains. Like it was just he's the one. Ultimately, when you think about it, did Qatar do anything poorly defensively apart from that one through ball from Sarmiento where he actually got split open?
No, really,
he didn't really get broken down like that.
Ecuador was comfortable.
Yes, Ecuador just.
I think they could have gone up 2 levels if they really need to.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. That's why I was like, don't judge a Casado on a performance like this because he did ultimately. Do you know them ones there? I feel like
Sorry, go on, Saint. Go on.
No. That's what I said. Like I feel like Jay and you said in that. I think the real work starts against. Do you know what I mean? The Netherlands. Let's start seeing. Do you know what I mean? When the competition rises, then the level of expectation starts rising, and we start weeding it out. Do you know what I mean? And we start actually seeing.
Facts. I agree.
Because sometimes your level can drop when you're playing lower. We know that. You're just trying to. Do you know them ways there? You're just trying to. That's what I'm saying.
No, that's true. I didn't even really think of it like that, to be fair. Because I was thinking like, what you're saying is right, but at the same time, I was just sitting there thinking,
you should be cooking them. You should be cooking them. No, I know, G. I know.
You should be cooking them. Like I want to know why my club is licking ass to try and get you. Like I want to know what the reasons are. But obviously, as you said, rightly so, you're up against Qatar. I don't.
Don't lie. He could have scored a brace, and you'll be like, "Why didn't he score a hat trick?"
Well, yeah, but this is it. Like, if you're gonna score a brace, I need to bag a hat trick.
That's what it is.
Useless.
But once again, obviously, Romz, I know you got a bounce as well. So, before you go, where did you get that top from?
Yeah, Ruto.
Brazil's been my team, but I got it from the night website, bro.
But when? No, but is it this season's one?
It's their training. It's like their pre-match one. I didn't get any of the official kit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
Listen, I'm gonna
big up everyone. Subscribe to Saint TV, Jamie Phillips Football Chat, smash the that's and that, all that lovely stuff. And we go again tomorrow.
GTV now, he's here.
Come on,
sorry, bro. GTV as well.
You'll get him out. Get him out.
I was going to say, remember, this is every night. Every night. It might not be all of us, but it might be 2 of us, even 1 of us, but you're going to get content every night. But big up everyone, man.
That's what it is, man. This is the panel for the World Cup at Saint Romz. Appreciate you guys. Man. See you tomorrow. But yeah, man. So look, a player I wanted to speak about as well, just looking at Qatar. Karim Bouadif, or was it Bouadif? If I said it correctly, but apologies if I butchered the
I'm gonna
name.
let you say it so that you get in trouble.
Because I'll say it. Like, do you know what I mean? Hold on. Let me make sure I'm pronouncing that properly.
The centre midfielder.
Boudiaf, that's it. Boudiaf,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, Karim Boudiaf. Listen, he was, for me, in that Qatar team, I felt sorry for him. I think he was a level above. And I think, I know he came through the Lyon, I checked him out before the game. He came through the Lyon youth academy, and I think you could see it. He's played his whole career in Qatar, to be fair. So after, like, he left the academy, went to Qatar straight away. Probably the best financial decision he's made in his life, innit? Like, do you know what I mean, in terms of that? But he looked levels above. He was trying to pass the ball, 1 touch, 2 touch, was getting the ball in tight situations, was a tall guy, but was able to maneuver around that kind of press a lot. It's just unfortunate that the midfielders, so Ash and Afif, or was it Afif? Yeah, Afif.
In the middle.
Yeah.
Hatim and Heidos.
Yeah, that's it. They didn't really help him. They didn't really help him. So it was difficult for him to play out, but I think he done really well. I think he is older, and so he's probably, I know he's 32, so he's probably not going to go and get a move. If he was 5-6 years younger, I could easily see him going to a Bruges, I mean, in Belgium or something like that, because he did show he's got the ability to go and play mainland Europe. I don't know what you guys thought of him.
I think with a player like him, I feel like when I watched him in the game, I said, you know what, he looks like a tidy player. But as you said, like, for example, I'm looking at his SOFA score rating. He actually got one of the lower ratings. But what you're saying about him is truthful in terms of it's like the team didn't help him for what his attributes are and what he's actually good at. The team didn't help him enough. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So in a game where you're being dominated so much, I just felt like he was the person who would maybe try and just almost add that little bit of quality in the middle of the park. So every time I was watching, I kept thinking, he looks okay, but then you might do something where I'm like, oh, for goodness sake. And I'm like, well, the reality is you're the only one, dude. You're pressing. That was one thing I kept seeing him trying to do, is like, you're actually trying to press. You're actually trying to get there. You're actually telling everybody, yo, like, why are you not pressing? The striker, why are you not pressing? Yo, you get back into position. Little things like that I could see from him. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, he's going to get himself tired after a while, because he's running around trying to do so much, but the team are not really helping him. Get him into better positions, get him on the ball a lot more. You can probably see that he's going to be someone who's a bit more progressive. So, you know, I agree with you there, Scott. I agree with you that one.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Who else can we go and talk about? I wanted to talk about this guy because he was our compatriot, G. He came on.
Oh, yeah. I heard that.
Mohamed Muntari.
If he scored that goal, though, he's gone in for life. He's gone in for life.
That goal was, listen, and the thing is, that was a very decent effort. That run that he made, like, it was so textbook. It was just nice to watch, and that's what I liked. I was like, okay, like, this team, they're a bit better than we're giving them props, because he's someone that came on, had a bit more confidence. He didn't start the game. I remember that as the national anthem was being sung and stuff, the right back that actually played for Qatar, Pedro, I think his name was. He's actually born in Portugal. He was crying. Like, for him, I mean, he probably knew, look, I'm never going to make it in the Portugal setup, but I'm playing in a World Cup. Like, that's crazy. As Jamie said, like, I mean, if this was someone from Dartford or Bromley FC or whatever, and we're told, you know what, you're playing in the World Cup, the joy that you'd have within yourself would be ridiculous. So he's gone and played, and you can see everyone was a bit angst. He came on, had a bit more freedom, was like, all right, look, we're already losing 2-0. Whether we lose 3-0 now or 2-1, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to come on and play my game. And he looked like someone that I think he might even start, considering how they ended the game. I think he might start over the striker that they had, because the striker that they had, I know he had a good record, but he was poor. He was poor today.
Like, I felt like he allowed for excuse me, he allowed for Ecuador to have the ball in such like, as Jamie was saying before, like, Ecuador were just comfortable, and I felt like that almost started from the front. Like, you know, the way that the strikers were playing prior to Muntari coming on, I was just thinking, yeah, you need someone who's a bit more of a live wire. Like, if you were a team, a bit like how Ghana had it, to be fair, when we had Asamoah Gyan, even though he had a bit more quality than these guys, like, you need someone who's just a bit more of a live wire, someone who's like a busybody, a Callum Wilson. Obviously, they don't have that level of quality, but just someone of that type of ilk in terms of the attributes that they possess. Like, Because if you don't, every time you lose the ball or every time you win the ball back, all the goalkeeper kept doing, I remember in the first like 20 minutes, kick it long, kick it long, booting it long. Someone try and get a knock on. We play
but
from
no
there.
one was getting the knock on because it wasn't like like when Alisson plays a long ball or Ederson plays a long ball, it's into an area where they know.
Into an area, exactly.
I can see the players aren't here, so the long balls go in there because they're going to challenge you for it there.
He was just knocking it long.
It was like me playing in goal and me just booting the ball, and it might go anywhere. It might go out for a throw in. It might go to a player. It's more likely they're not going to go to the Ecuador player. It's going to take a touch. It's going to be in pure amounts of space, and we're just going to pop it off. I think what didn't help as well was obviously they started with a back five, Qatar.
Yeah.
If there was one up front, if it was just Enner Valencia, I think he would have struggled a lot. They played the two, which meant that the three were always pinned back by the two because the two were just one would flick it on, one would run in behind. So it was either Enner Valencia or it wasn't Ibarra because Ibarra was on the left. What's the striker's name?
I'll get up for you right now.
Yeah,
it's Dorian.
Whoa.
It
was Estrada.
No, number 11.
Yeah.
Estrada.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it was. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was one of those games that it was just that was the problem, and it meant that three couldn't really build up. That three couldn't build up, and it meant that actually had to build up with a four because the three were pinned back. The DM that we're talking about, so Karim had to obviously drop in and help out. It meant that he was back. In the second half, we actually saw Afif, who started up front, have to come into midfield to actually try and get on the ball because they couldn't really get out of that. And you could see they didn't really have a plan to, maybe we go to a four at the back.
It looked joke when I'm seeing like Afif obviously coming back into midfield or coming back to like help out in defense because the reality is he reminds me of them wingers that you're like, I don't really want you anywhere near defending. Like, can you just stay up there because you're not you're almost in the way because you're not really picking up anybody and you're almost just becoming just a body now. I kind of just want you out of the way because you do your damage obviously further up the field. But yeah, man, I think with Qatar, look, the reality is that I feel they'll finish bottom anyway, just because of the three other teams that are in this group, Ecuador, Senegal and Netherlands. So I think now what we've seen, as you said, with Ecuador, it's going to be a battle. So we're saying now, for we know that they might beat Netherlands, in the lot, I don't know. But what we're saying now, I feel like them and Senegal, like it's going to be a real battle to get into that. Like it's actually a proper battle now to get to second place.
I don't think the Netherlands is as great as everyone's making out either.
True.
Netherlands.
They're just a stronger team.
Yeah, they've got the stronger players because most of their players play in top European clubs, don't they? So they have that on their side. But I don't think they're a great Dutch team of what we've seen in the past. And when I watch this Ecuador team, this Ecuador team, I think before the World Cup, their last 4 games were 0-0. So they don't really concede many goals.
I think it was 6 games they were saying, actually. I think you're right. I think they were saying it was 6 games they hadn't conceded or something like that.
They're quite good defensively. And if they can get the odd goal here and there and keep a clean sheet, they're going to go through, ain't they? So,
yeah, and that's what it's going to be interesting because when you look at the Netherlands.
Are they playing tomorrow?
Yeah, after the England game.
They are after the England game. They're playing the late one. When you look at some like the Netherlands, they have good players in all areas, but their forward line, they haven't got a striker. Bar Memphis, they haven't got the likes of an RVP that they've had in years gone by, which is just guaranteed goals. They've got they've had Huntelaar in years gone by where good finishers. They've got Memphis there. Look, he's decent, obviously for the Netherlands, but then off the bench it's Luke De Jong. It's the one that went to Burnley. What was his name?
Keep making the flip. Oh, that guy's in the squad as well.
Yeah.
Burnley. Some crazy guy, man. I just remember looking at him.
The tall brother, that scored a ridiculous goal against United. What was his name?
Trying to find it now.
Oh man, the Netherlands.
Oh, Wout Weghorst. That's it. Wout Weghorst.
Weghorst, yeah.
When your name is this, like, no disrespect, but come on, man. But like, it's like if these are the kind of players that I'm seeing from from the Netherlands, Jamie might be right. You know what I mean? Like they don't really actually have that great of a team. Their defense is obviously good. Their midfield is definitely decent. The attack, I feel like, is so
just the likes of obviously Bergwijn, Memphis, Cody Gakpo,
but even then, but even when you put those kind of players,
people are speaking about him.
Yeah,
but is he of that level yet? I don't know. I don't know. For me, he's in that layout category. I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's like people are giving him all these ratings, but me personally, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the ratings. I'm just like, yeah, he's decent. Like,
I think you know, I totally agree with you. By the way, I think he's just decent kind of thing. But I think when we look at some players, we need to also remember, guys, like when we talk about like you just said Leao, for example. So we'll use Leao and Gakpo. When you look at those kind of guys, we got to remember, obviously they're young and they might get to this level, but the players they're competing with is, dare I say it, Salah, your Neymars, your Manes, your Sanes, your Gnabry. Like that's when I'm looking at Mbappe. Like you know, like
that's a level.
Not everyone, but this is it. And I think sometimes I almost feel like people think that these guys are that good, and I'm like, no, they are way down that list, and they're not even close to even being, you know, up to that kind of par. But it's almost like the excitement kind of kicks in, you know, with certain players, and I'm just like, yeah, we just need to wait on them. Wait on this. This could be a good tournament for Gakpo. I think if he doesn't have a good tournament, question marks are going to be looked at him, you know, for, you know, January. But a lot of teams are looking at him. There's a lot of players, man. There's a lot of players that I'm looking at in this tournament.
It's not a great Dutch squad, is it? Bergwijn, Depay, Verkool, Gakpo, and Vincent Janssen are their forwards.
Janssen as well.
Do not tell me Janssen that used to play
the Tottenham one.
Vincent Janssen. That is their forward line.
Who did he play for? Vincent Janssen plays for someone mad as well.
He plays in Holland. He plays for Royal. No, he plays in Belgium, Royal Antwerp.
That's it, Antwerp.
Hold on. The guy who couldn't get off the bench at Spurs is here playing for flipping Holland.
Yeah,
have no other strikers.
They got Luke De Jong, Noah Lang, is it, from Club Brugge?
Yeah.
Sven Bergwijn, Depay, Verkool, Gakpo, and Janssen. That's their forward.
Crappy forward.
And none of them are really any.
This is the first time I'm looking at England thinking at least you got a better attack than these guys.
Like I said, the lucky thing about, not the lucky thing, but the thing that have to hang their hat on is the pie for the Netherlands is a different beast.
Yes,
It is, and obviously he's a good player, but he's someone as well that for the Netherlands he gets goals, but he can also just win a game out of nothing. He can go on a run and then score a goal, and I think that's what they're going to rely on. And tournament football, that's what sometimes you just need, isn't it? You need someone that can just win you a game. So
Xavi Simmons, is it Xavi Simmons as well?
Yeah.
Simon? That's what I want to look at, because he's got a lot of talk, lately, ain't he?
Yeah, same.
Exactly.
Totally agree. I want to see him as well. See how there's a lot of that. It's just going to be interesting. I think that, and I also think there's going to be a player that we're all going to be like, oh,
who's that?
Like who's that? Like maybe we should have a bit of scouting on this guy. Like I think,
and then you go see Virgil doing bits, and he's going to all off.
Exactly.
I hope like Virgil needs to do something to show me that he's not on.
He's
this,
back. He's not on that trajectory, isn't it? It's just more of this. I
don't mind if it's here, but if he's going like this, then I'm like, whoa, I need you to, we need to have a conversation about what happens next week. But tomorrow,
go on.
No, I was going to ask. So tomorrow's games, it's Netherlands are playing in the evening and England at 4 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
No, England at 1 o'clock.
England 1 o'clock. Who's the other game of Group B? It's
USA Wales.
That's it.
Yeah, USA Wales is this set. So Netherlands Senegal is 4 o'clock. England Iran is 1 o'clock, and Wales and USA is 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's a good little day of games. Oh, guys, you're in for a treat tomorrow then.
Exactly, they're in for a treat.
And then Tuesday morning's Argentina, 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, guys, we got to sleep soon and go to work, man. Like, do you guys not understand like what's going on? These crazy times. All right, fair enough.
I was going to run through some of the comments. Oh, hold on, before I run through the comments, 2010 World Cup. Who was the emerging talent that Liverpool signed?
2010. Who did we sign?
Fuck me, can't remember that far back.
Or was it 2014?
Emerging talent.
Yeah, Belgian.
Oh, Origi.
Oh, for goodness.
Origi, innit? That's the one.
This is why Liverpool need to stay away from these World Cup flipping. If it's not Origi, it's Milan Baros. If it's not Milan Baros, it's El Hadji. You need to stay away from World Cup. Salif Jow. Fucking hell, Liverpool, man. You don't really buy good players.
And we had Nicholas Anelka on the books as well, and we let him go.
We let him go.
Nah, Liverpool, you know what? You've actually scarred me. Liverpool actually need to stay away from this World Cup. I don't want to see any player sign. Yeah, I don't want any of that. So Caicedo, I'm sorry. Either you need to play super shit or I don't want to sign you. It's that simple, bro.
No Liverpool scout should be in Qatar.
Ravi saying great first game to kick off the World Cup show. Valencia didn't know he could still move like that. Yeah, Valencia.
I forgot he even existed, let alone move like that.
Exactly. Good finisher. I remember at West Ham, I thought he was going to be a player, man.
I thought he was, yeah.
I thought he'd do something. It never worked out. I looked at his goal record. It's been good apart from in the Premier League. In the Premier League, it's dead. He got like 8 goals in like 60 appearances for like West Ham.
But then didn't he change position? I feel like he started to change position. He didn't always stay up front.
I felt like the left wing.
Yeah, I felt like he started to change around after a while. One of them.
Yeah, Tommy's saying Sai Asian champions outclassed today. Then Tommy's actually thought Qatar might do it. He thought what's it, the supporters backing him. I've got to give it up to the Qatari supporters. The Qatari supporters on it today. Like I've got to say, behind the goal, like the ultras, I don't know what they're called. Salute to you guys, man, because it showed you that football's more global than you think. It wasn't just all corporate and that you could see, or just the locals. I saw a couple of people with just regular things that like tattoos, that type of thing that are actually there and just supporting. So big up to the Qatari fans. Trudon saying small nations like San Marino should have their own tournament. That's a bit of a violation, man. What do you mean, like a goals or something, like a 7-a-side tournament or something?
Some cage football, you know.
Yeah, it's a joke. Captain Sal saying, let's not forget Iceland doing the mighty England over. Yeah, that's true. Honesty, Hortensia saying, hit the likes, people, and subscribe to Jerry James Show, GTV, say LFC TV, and Jamie Phillips TV. So big up. Gio the Best saying, Enna Valencia was levels above. To be honest, the tactics at Brian ain't the same with Ecuador. They with Ecuador allow.
I'll blame him.
Gio then saying, I want the same energy for the USA in 2026, but it won't be. No, it won't.
Same energy about what?
In regards to obviously the corruption and the
corruption's in every major country in the world. Let's face it, ain't it? Exactly. That's what we're saying. Hypocrites.
Captain Sal saying stage fright in regards to Qatar. Yeah, exactly. Revenite FC saying Jamie is on my level. Hear me drinking my pints of Pepsi. Rest in peace, me. There you go, Jamie. You got someone joining the club. Pepsi pint.
I have about 8 a day, man.
8 a day.
Jamie, that's where you crap me up, bro.
What, the big elite?
Yeah. I love Pepsi, man. It shits all over Coke. I don't care what anyone says.
Oh no, 100%.
You know, my mum will definitely tell you. Yeah, she'll definitely agree with that. Definitely.
Like, I'm a Pepsi person as well, but I had to move over to Pepsi Max as a.
But why though? Sorry to go off topic like this, but why? I like Coke. I love Coke.
Sugar.
I can't. I don't like the taste of Coke.
Oh, do you know what it is? Coke is a bit too.
It makes it.
I don't know. Like the aftertaste of the Pepsi is a bit more like softer. The Coke is a bit
smoother.
Raw.
Pepsi is
smoother. It's just smooth. It's like, you know what I mean? It's just smooth.
Pepsi, if you want to sponsor.
There's 2 people right here.
Jamie, I always wondered why people like the Pepsi logo just tattooed on the neck here.
People getting into partnership with Coca-Cola. Look, I love me some Coca-Cola. Okay, I would just let everyone know I love me some Coca-Cola. I just think like Coca is the original, man. Like that's
Freeway. No, but G, be honest, Freeway or Coca-Cola?
Obviously, now you're just splitting hairs. You know what I mean? Like Freeway is gonna be what I'm grabbing regardless. In fact, you just remind me I need to go to Lidl ASAP after this stream.
Do you remember Virgin Cola? Remember Virgin Cola back in the day?
Listen.
When the bottle was designed on Pamela Anderson's body. Do you remember that?
Listen. we can throw it back to whatever. What was Neto's version of cola? Like, it only cost like 20p. Listen, cola is cola,
I
but
think that was just called C.
yeah, you know what I mean. Like, listen, cola is cola, but I understand. I mean, Coke. I understand that with Pepsi, it is a tad bit smoother. It's just got that little bit of a taste, and I prefer it with like alcohol and stuff like that.
Pepsi's better with rum than Coke as well.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. But we do not promote drinking.
Exactly.
Well,
no drinking.
It's been banned anyway. It's been banned, so we don't promote it.
Marque saying Estupiñán's passing was off today, not as slick as usual. Fair enough. I need to maybe have a look at him. I looked at him at Valencia a lot, but yeah, he's good. I'm telling you, saying I'm intrigued with Alan Franco, the other substitute for Ecuador. Heard he will start against the Netherlands. Okay, interesting. Angel 1968 Abel saying, will Eddie Nketiah start for Ghana? Well, he's not gonna. Well, would he start for Ghana if he played? No, he wouldn't start.
no.
Is he going to get into the team? No, he's not. I think it's too late for him. I think
Yeah,
they wanted him badly. He was umming and ahhing. Now that he knew, that
he's got choices, he's a busy man.
But now England, he knows. I think it's not going to work. I don't know.
Why are you umming and ahhing? Just go for it.
No,
never go for England.
Well, there's other reasons. I know there's reasons like the Ghana NFA and stuff. But look, his family and him and umming and ahhing. He's now turned up in Ghana, having a whole celebration, trying to show that he's
right. It's just
It's like, it's not going to work anymore. The squad's done. Like you're not getting in.
They don't want you no more, man. It's good. Like people, like all of these country changes and stuff like that. I saw a post out from, was it the Secret Scout or one of these Wonder Kid kind of pages on Instagram, and they were talking about should players, should there be a limit in terms of, or an age limit where players can't just pick and choose. So obviously, for example, someone like Zaha, he's played for England at senior level, but that was in a friendly, and then he's still able to change over to the Ivory Coast. We've seen other players kind of Declan Rice. England's one of England's Ireland, literally, and then I've seen him play for Ireland to then go and play.
Look at France.
Yeah. Are they even French? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, and those are the kind of things that I actually look at. Like France. Like, imagine if Benzema, your Hatem Ben Arthurs, your Nazaris, your Zinedine, like they actually played for
all of them. Konate, Saliba,
all of them. Like, if they just played for their thing, but not even that. Should there be an age limit? And I think that's kind of
it's a good point.
Should you be allowed, for example, to do what Fabio Carvalho has done, which is potentially, if he is looking to play for England instead, is he thinking, should I just, like just not play for Portugal anymore, kind of thing? I feel like they should maybe.
I think you should play wherever you're born. Wherever you're born, that's where you should play.
I think the problem you've got with that though is that there's a lot of people. I think you actually hinder the clubs because there's a lot of, because of how the football's structured and it's so Eurocentric.
Yeah,
there's a lot of players. There's a lot of players that obviously, I know, for instance, that families will go and raise their kids in a certain country because they want the player to do better as a career-wise. I think you doing that, even if you did that, I think you hinder some of the clubs. For example, Nigeria wouldn't be where Nigeria is.
True.
Because the likes of Iwobi play there, the likes of, there's a few players that obviously you got, what's the right back's name, man? Ola Aina, as an example. Players that are British born but play for Nigeria. I think you do hinder those clubs because there are certain teams, like there's certain countries you just can't live in. They're not the best conditions to live in. So I don't think that's
I'll get you. That's true. That's good.
Wars
and all that, war-torn countries and things like that.
And I think it's a weird one because you say an age limit, but how do you stop players?
I suppose the under-21s, if you represent your country under 21, and then after that, you can't change, I suppose, or whatever it is. Saying like, I don't know.
But at the same time, if you haven't played I think competitive game is fine because if you haven't played a game that really means anything and you've got your cap, but you're not going to get selected, sometimes you just have to make a career decision. It's like moving clubs, isn't it? It's like saying, you've chosen your club at under 21 level. Like, you can't request to leave unless the club sells you. You just got to ride it out. It's like, no, you've got to do what's best for your career.
What if you play under 21 football and you play in like the under-21 World Cup or the under-21 Euros, that's considered a competitive game.
Yeah, but
that count as that you've got to stay at that country now.
But it doesn't count towards the cap, doesn't it?
No.
Yeah,
it's mad how it can work, ain't it? Like you can
and it's weird because you can play under 21 football like Zaha did, but then never get a looking for England. Never get a looking for England. And when you think about like talking about Andy Nketiah before we move on, we had the likes of Andy Cole, Jermaine Defoe, Les Ferdinand, just to name a few. All ridiculous strikers that didn't get a look in, for whatever reason, whether it was racial, which I don't think it necessarily was, but you just got a Shearer there or someone else playing there. These players, obviously, they potentially didn't have the option to play for another country, but if they did, look at how that would help that country. Let's say Les Ferdinand Ghanaian. Imagine him playing for Ghana. Like that ups the level of a Ghana already. Imagine a Qatar had a Les Ferdinand or a Jermaine Defoe. That game could be completely different. So it helps the standard of football.
I suppose if they got a bit of like that country's blood in them or relatives or things like that, I've got no problem. I've got no problem with it actually.
Yeah. I think they were looking at it like, for example, one of the players that they spoke about was Jamal Musiala. Obviously, he's playing for Germany now.
Yeah.
Whereas he literally went throughout his whole career up until he moved to Germany, England, all the way up. I think he did actually play, and I think he played under 21 football as well, maybe if not under 20s at the very least. And he's played all the way through the England, youth ranks, and then he just decided that, I'd rather go play for Germany kind of thing as soon as he moved over
ain't
there.
That a bad take on our country though, where he thinks he's going to get a better opportunity playing in the German national team than the England national team.
And you think to yourself, if you looked at it now, are you all telling me that Jamal Musiala could make this team?
I mean, we were
easily made the squad. The squad isn't even up for debate.
The thing is, we say that, but do you think he would start?
Southgate wouldn't start him.
He wouldn't start him.
Okay, not under Southgate, but let's just think in the hypothetical.
No, but then there's loads of players. Then there's loads of players. Yeah, you know what? He would have started. So that's what I'm looking at the team, and I'm like, all right. Is he going to start ahead of Foden in the 10? I'm not saying he should.
No. But it's a good debate though. And again, I'm not saying like between the two players, I'm looking at it thinking, I mean, maybe Foden might be ahead.
Quality player, that's what we need.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I just look at it and I think that's why he looks at it like that, because I'm so confused right now. We're looking at England and we're saying that we're debating whether he'd get into the squad. Germany are probably a better team and a better country than us, but he makes that squad no ends up.
Yeah, and he'll probably play some minutes in this World Cup as well.
Oh yeah, easily. He's going to be my young player of the tournament, I think.
And the fact that the German national team mirrors what Bayern Munich do in terms of a system.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's what it is. You're looking at Spain. The Spain national team mirror what Barca and Real Madrid do as a system. So that's why the core of the players are the same. With England, we don't have that. They don't mirror what Pep does because they can't do that. They mirror what
they can't play. It's
like what the manager wants to do. There is no club.
Here's one for you. If England had Pedri and Gavi, would they be in the squad?
No. What?
They've been in the squad.
I don't know. They might get into the squad. No, but think about it. They might get into the squad, but then think about it.
You're taking out Gallagher. Gallagher's gone, and you're taking out.
No. But think about it. We say Gallagher's gone, but for what England need. Because think about it, the types of personnel that they've got right now, they've got the
Gavi's a what? Gavi's a what?
The two DMs. So look, they've got but Gavi's an 8 basically.
Yeah, an 8.
Yeah. So look, they've got the two DMs. So Calvin Phillips and thing. Obviously, we're not talking about Rodri and that because Rodri obviously will come in straight away. But you've got Calvin Phillips and thing, right? You've got no experience in that team. So the only experience you really got in that team is really Henderson, right?
Yeah.
Experience head in that team, so he's probably going to go anyway. Just to be
experienced that badly, like, are we dying for this level of experience? Like,
no, but you need it in it. Even Spain, they've got Koke going. Do you know what I mean? Like, you need some level of.
Busquets is 35 is still there.
35. They've got Busquets who might not start because Rodri's probably going to start, not Busquets. We've got Busquets going.
You need it.
I'm giving one spot. There as a token, like experience, right?
Okay.
Gallagher's a runner. But Pedri and Gavi aren't runners.
Ball players.
They're ball players, but they're not runners in terms of how England want to play. Right? So they've got Bellingham and Rice. Do they displace Bellingham and Rice?
This is why we don't. This is why we don't. This is why we don't win anything.
But that's what I'm saying, Jamie. This is why we don't win nothing. Because our thinking is like this. Like we're thinking, not you, Jay, specifically, but this is exactly how the England manager would think, and is probably thinking. Like man, like Maddison, who's probably been England's best midfielder this season. Obviously, I know he's injured now. He probably wouldn't even get a look in, regardless of anything. Like
Foden is not guaranteed to start.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's mad.
But Sterling and all them, what Sterling's been sitting, and Sterling's my guy, but he's been stinking up the joint.
But that's a greater problem. That's a country problem. That's the fact that football, the way it starts from grassroots, is completely different. Like I see it with my little brother. My little brother plays at high level football, and he's only young though. He plays like under 10s. But you see it. You see, exactly, but you see it from the bottom where it's just like they're playing like this. That's why I know their team plays a certain way because he plays. I'll tell you guys off camera, but he plays for another team. But when they come up against these certain teams, this is the way they play, and you can see that at a certain level, it's like, well, you can't cut it without just being, like I said, big, powerful, tall, and strong. And even though, you got to have some technical ability, if you're taller, bigger, and stronger than everyone else, you're going to get fast track because it's such a results-based business at such a low level. Whereas other countries, they don't really care about the results like that. They don't even have leagues. They just play. They just play, and then you're able to go and get on the ball and stuff. And we're getting more ball players, but are they even going to go and start? Because you look at our league doesn't cater to that. Our league doesn't cater to that because of the way we want to go and play. Like, do you know what I mean? Think about it. A Carvalho could go and play for Barcelona, and he probably fit what they do a bit better than what he does at Liverpool.
Yeah.
But at Liverpool, we look at him and say, you're not fast enough to play on the wing, and you're not strong enough or more athletic enough to play in the midfield. That's not the conversation we're having at Barca. Do you know what I mean? So that's, you know what I mean? We're not having that conversation at Barca. Yeah, man. And Dicko saying, lads, did you see what Mel Reddy has said about the Saudi prince sat next to Infantino tonight? No. Mel Reddy, she's annoying me. She's annoying me recently, man.
Oh, Infantino, though, his comments for the World Cup were disgusting. When he said, I know what it's like to be disabled. I know what it's be like a man of colour. I know what it's like to be this. I know what it's like. But shut up. You don't.
I think it came out worse than he meant it to. I think he's trying to say, look, I'm really
trying to make everything sound inclusive.
Yeah. And he's like,
I'm just not having it, innit?
So bad, though. It came out so bad. It was like, you didn't think this through.
Yeah. It just seemed like maybe he should have written
it looked like it was just coming from the heart. He was sitting there and he was pausing as he was talking. He had no.
He was holding the ball in his hand like that as well, wasn't he? He's like, what are you doing? Put the ball down.
Exactly. Yeah, it was mad. Angel 968 saying, do you guys think England will beat Iran comfortably? I think they'll beat Iran comfortably. Meh. I think it might be a 1-0.
I think they'll win. I just don't think it'll be comfortable.
Harry Kane would stat pad this group and then not show for knockout stages like he always does.
Gary Richards saying Liverpool should go all out for Cody Gakpo in January.
Meh.
Let's wait and see.
Let's wait and see. Winner. Do we need any more?
I'm tired of left winger. That's why I want to see Nico Williams.
Win on the left wing. We're good.
The thing is, any player we get, even if he's a midfielder like a number 10, he's playing on the left wing.
He's
playing on the left wing. Listen, we could get Maddison. I guarantee Maddison starts playing on the left wing. If Liverpool had Maddison, he plays on the left wing.
We'll get Bellingham and he'll play on the left.
I've seen Bellingham play on the left. That's the worst thing about it.
Borussia Dortmund, he's played on the left.
Oh,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Why can't we find someone to play on the like? Why is there no right wingers? I said this the other day. Is there no right wingers?
It's one word. It's one name. It's Salah, the Egyptian king. Like that's the reason. It's 400k he's getting.
So
I guarantee there's a clause that says he has to play. He has to play. My position's secure.
Well, he's got that Ronaldo contract. He's got that.
100%.
Yeah, well, he's
just delivering at the moment, isn't it? You know, the moment he stops delivering, that narrative's going to rerun the same. What are you offering us? So, we know saying exactly. Qatar started very nervous, to be honest. That's true. CTV saying, "Big up the panel, big up to yourself." And Dickinson, I think North Korea or Saudi are getting the next World Cup. Interesting. Ecuador, good. That's crazy.
You lot thought Qatar was bad.
Wiener said Ecuador were good going forward and able just to keep the ball, to control the ball a bit. That's true. Garrett saying Holland will outclass Senegal. Indian Scouts are saying, big up, bro, my bros. Big up to yourself, Indian Scouts. I hope you're well. 1975 Jammer saying, it's not boring. It's an uncomfortable conversation that most people don't like to talk about because it makes some people question their own morality. I believe that's in regards to our conversation about the World Cup. I mean, don't question my morality. It just makes me think I can't judge people on their morality, innit? I've got my morals that I live by. Who am I? Unless it affects me directly, like it's mad to say. It's mad to say, but you don't ever. Let's be honest, and I've said it, G, before. You know, like everyone's like, send the murderer to prison. Let's bring back the capital punishment. It's your family member that's done the business, and then you're saying no, we've got to be a bit more lenient, and there's restorative justice, and he should do that. He should do time and a half instead. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to doing the full sentence. And yeah, we shouldn't have the capital punishment because we don't want him to die. He's not going to learn anything. He's still a human being, and that's what it is.
Rehabilitation and all that. Yeah.
Exactly. We only react when it's ourselves. Do you know what I mean? But when it's not us individually as people, we don't care about that. Do you know what I mean? We don't care about that. So
we're human beings at the end of the day. So of course we have our selfish nature in certain aspects. So the reality is when it's not us, you're not going to be as. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Do you know what I mean? Put it this way. Look. There's people that go missing every day. As an example, right? Like I've got in my family, I've got stuff that people, like family members, have gone missing, never to be found again, right? And it's like, yeah, when it's yourself, you're all up for it. You're banging. You're probably doing the flyers and posting about. But I'm telling you now, maybe you guys will go help. Some of you guys in the comments, I'm telling you now, you just wouldn't really be bothered too much. But I'm not going to blame you for that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to get angry at you.
I'm not going to get angry, but it's so far away where it's just like, yeah, that's that thing, innit? And I might do a little retweet, but that's about it. I'm going to still go and play my COD. You ain't going to be worried about it. It's just going to be like, it's just another one bites the dust. That's just how it is, isn't it?
People still play COD.
Yeah, no, they do.
It's like, oh, let me retweet real quick. Hey, you lot though, this Fortnite game looking crazy. Yeah, but that's like,
hey, man, the Warzone. FM's just dropped, bro. I've got to make sure.
I haven't played COD.
Oh, hey, you better not lose anybody anytime soon.
I have never played. I have never played COD in my life.
Oh, Jamie.
No, I used to play Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor was good.
I used to play that. I think that came out first. I can't remember, but I used to play
Medal of Honor was first.
I never played COD. I ain't even got the time.
I've stopped COD for ages, and then since I've got the PS5 and then Mrs. obviously it came with the game. It's a good game. It's a good game.
I think it's one of those games where if you've never played it before, you probably won't get. If you like Medal of Honor, though, you probably would really and truly get.
I like it. I like Gears of War as well. I used to play Gears of War.
Gears of War was flipping hard though. That was such a solid game. Well, sorry,
Gears of War used to get me shook. You know, Gears of War used to get me shook. I was scared. It
was crazy.
I'm actually scared. It's crazy. Revenant FC saying, I muted the TV. I'm here to hear about the football. I don't want to hear about hours and opinions on laws and human rights. You got to pick a time and place to do it, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean?
Did you see Grizz just retweeted out some of the opening ceremony? It's got Morgan Freeman in it, for goodness sake.
What?
Yeah, Morgan Freeman was doing the opening ceremony. And it was about like peace and all that. And he's talking to a young kid on the floor in this opening ceremony, talking about peace in the world and all that. And the BBC didn't show it.
That's mad. I need to go back and watch that.
Morgan Freeman, you know.
More people like even get
at the BBC. I'm actually going to at the BBC and actually question them for that. I'm actually going to do
it. It's wrong. It's not. It shouldn't be. It should be allowed, man.
I didn't even know Morgan Freeman. Okay, that makes sense. I think I saw someone say that, like hashtag Morgan Freeman, but I thought, shit, did he die? Like, you know, like, you never hear of his name. Like, so you're like, man, Morgan, like, did he die? Like, but I didn't. But you know what I did, Jerry? You know exactly what I did. Exactly what you just said a minute ago about. You because it's no one I really know. I kind of just like looked at it and was like, oh, that's deep. But let me get the football one because I kind of need to watch it and think. But I wasn't really even thinking about it. So now it makes sense. Hey, we're human beings, man.
That's what it is. I was just about to say, like Jamra was saying, for a lot of people, that's the voice of God.
The voice of God. This is what I'm saying.
Morgan Freeman's the man. And they didn't show it. And they talk about peace as well. And they get, it's just.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
man.
maybe we'll at the BBC, man.
Gosh. That's what it is, man. That's what it is. But listen, guys, it's been another. It's been the first World Cup show of the World Cup of Qatar 2022. It's been a good one. A lot of interesting topics. I'm happy. in regards to. I'm happy with what I experienced. I'm happy that the Middle East and a part of the world that I haven't been to has actually got to like express itself, and it's the center of attention. I think that's really, really good. Yeah, man. I think it puts us in good stead. I mean, tomorrow we've got a lot of games as well. Make sure obviously to like, share, comment, subscribe. We've got a lot of content coming on. Question is, Jamie, are you signing a contract?
I'll sign the contract. Give me a pen right
Sign a
now.
contract, yeah. So you're part of the World Cup. This is amazing.
We'll bring him.
I've got my watch-alongs, and after I finish my watch-alongs, I'll come on.
Right, there we go.
Perfect.
I'll come on, guys.
We're on. So we're doing it after the very last games anyway.
After the very last game, yeah. We might do the occasional.
Yeah,
like I said, we might. This is what I'm saying. This is why you guys have got to have your notification bell slapped on, because we might do the occasional, like, pre-game little show when we can. But after every day, after every round of games, so every single day of games, we're going to go and do the show. So I believe that's 9 o'clock, isn't it? Because it's 7 o'clock. Isn't it?
Yeah. No, I'm up for that. I'll sign the contract right now.
So guys, make sure this is what you guys are going to have to basically do. For pre-games, make sure your notifications are on, just in case either Jerry or Jamie are doing a preview on a game. Watch-alongs, make sure you're slapping your notifications on so you can watch Jamie's watch-alongs. And then as soon as you finish watching the watch-along, you fly over to the Jerry James show.
Yeah, I'll redirect it. So after my watch-along, I'll go on the redirect on YouTube and put it straight.
Oh, yes. Oh, Jamie, you need to show me.
Everyone can follow through. Yeah.
But that's what it is. And then what's going to happen is that whilst you're watching the game, we're in the background doing all the details, all the nooks and crannies about the tactics, making sure that we get that out to you. So look, there you go. There you guys got it.
Your month for content is there, guys.
You got your month for content, guys. Make sure you guys are slapping those likes and subscribes.
Yeah, man. So bar Jamie's content, G, anything happening on GTV?
I'll be previewing just all England games. I I really want to see what England are saying. So I'm just going to be previewing England game. After every game, just check out. I'll be dropping a video, like just a 10-minute, just to talk about England's performance, whether they win, lose, draw, and then hopefully at the end of England's last game, hopefully I might do a live just to talk about England and their kind of chances, if they're actually through to the next round or not. If not, God, there's going to be a lot to talk about in regards to England. But make sure, look, you'll catch me on the Jerry James show. You'll catch me on Jamie Phillips' show as well. So if there's anything new coming on, I'll let you guys know on one of those channels.
There you go.
With me, I've got a bit of news as well. I might as well take it on your show. So I got an email yesterday. So someone wants to come on and sponsor the channel.
Oh, amazing.
So I've got that coming up. I've just been emailing today and all that. So we're going to hopefully get together and work together. I got that. And the other bit of good news is that the BBC emailed me. They want to do a documentary on my daughter Penny.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, that's actually good. That is flipping dope.
Yeah, because she turned 6 years old while she's been in there. And what she's going through, a lot of teenagers in the same ward are doing it as well. And they're struggling, and she's actually talking to them how she's doing it and giving them, like, helping them out. And she's only 6 years old. So a nurse was talking about it. A lot of nurses were talking about it, and they got in touch with the BBC on their behalf, and then they emailed me today.
No, that's wonderful, man.
And the third bit of good news, Liverpool today said that Keita, Milner and Ox are all leaving in the summer.
Yes, come on! You say the best till last, mate. Yeah, I was about to go crazy. Nah. I think, listen, I'm not gonna rank them. I'm not gonna rank what Jamie said, but every bit of news that you just said there was absolutely brilliant. Obviously, your daughter being the best one. The Liverpool news, I'm sorry, that has to come second. It has to. Yeah, guys, man, send your love to Jamie, man. What is
they
it?
all already, man. They already big up to everyone. We know Gary Richards. It's amazing. So big up to everyone there. And look, you've had about 4 bits of good news. You found out Saints on board. He signed a contract. We've got Jamie signing a contract as well. Everyone's alone on the Jerry James show. So you're going to get ridiculous World Cup content. as we've said as well, we've got some exclusive content coming direct from Qatar as well. So you guys are going to be able to experience firsthand what it's like in Qatar for the fans, what it's like going to the games, how the stadiums look, what the fan zones look like. We've also got the UK fan zones coming as well, especially when England go in place. It's going to be amazing. So big up to everyone tuning in. Make sure we're liking, make sure we're sharing, make sure you're subscribing as well. It's been the Jerry James Show, and we're out, people. Boom.